Welcome to the J.R. Hendrix Texan Gentleman, the podcast that deals with the early life of J.R. Hendrix. This episode is an address by James Ryan Hendrix at the Lafayette Convention Center, Lafayette, Louisiana, October 12, 1996, 2 p.m. Central. Please welcome with me to the stage former administrator of the EAA and all-around Southern stud, James Ryan Hendrix. Jim, come up. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow Americans. I want to tell you about how much I love to kick Bill Clinton and Mary Landrieu to the curb. My name is James Ryan Hendrix Sr. I graduated with a bachelor's degree in economics in 1959 from Southern Methodist University. I was an old man for a variety of years, and then I chased fame as a music producer in Nashville for about 4 years. I served under the Bush administration in the Commodities and Futures Trading Commission. And I had the unfortune, to serve for 2.5 years in the Small Business Administration and Entrepreneurial Affairs Agency under President Bill Clinton. But I love America. And I think we've had enough crises the past 6 years with milquetoast leaders who can't seem to get some work done, legislature done to help for the economy further. We made a lot of progress, but we sure as hell got a long way to go. One thing is, I sure wasn't going to be a salaried public servant in order to kowtow and answered to the Clinton administration and his crazy liberal cronies, otherwise known as crony socialism. I think it's time to tell Bill Clinton and Mary Landrieu to rein themselves in. That's why I'm here this afternoon, to give my full support and, believe it or not, my $120,000 support to the campaign of Woody Jenkins. Don't ask me why I ain't supporting the Republican candidate the same for president. I ain't got the time, patience, or the willingness to be thankless to that. I was there when Bill Clinton signed the Small Business Lending Enhancement Act. The press said I thumbed my nose at that. Perhaps I did, but that's because I realized that was far less than insufficient. I was going to push harder. They wasn't going to stop me. In early 1990, I was begging President Bush for an appointment. I was out there, not willing to sit in the office all the time. At other times, I was called out to run the derrick. Tell me something. When was the last some of these politicians ever had real jobs and real businesses to support their families instead of riding on the backs of the American people? In August of this year, I was overjoyed when President Clinton signed the Small Business Jobs Protection Act of 1996 because it had part of the package that I supported wholeheartedly. But I have another piece of legislation called Supportability for Small Business, which is dead. It's been died 3 times because they keep saying no bipartisan support. Maybe it's time to get some of these other partisan hacks out. Maybe it's time, instead of a public official reminding the Congress of their responsibilities, maybe it's time for a private official, such as me, on occasion, go up to D.C., enter the halls of Congress, speak my mind. Because I'll tell you something, I will not approve reporting to the White House as a private citizen, not as long as Bill Clinton's president. One thing I will say is I'll be reporting regularly to Congress, either through myself or a team of staff that I will be assembling after the election. And it is my hope with that election that you elect Woody Jenkins over Mary Landrieu. The economy was beautiful in the second quarter of 96 compared to the first quarter. Now, the third quarter, it struggled quite a bit until some actual damn legislation was passed instead of trinkets and pork barrel products. September, I gotta tell you, this is some of the best economic news we got. But it ain't because of Clinton. It's also because conservative congressmen and senators from both sides of the aisle reached across the hand and slapped the president on the knee and said, "Hey, get something done." I didn't always live in Texas, even though I have an accent. I was born March 9th, 1937, had a little farmhouse in a hospital in Billings, Montana. We alternated between home and my grandparents' farmhouse. My father, he worked the farm and different odd jobs. In September 1939, he told my mother he had joint American and British citizenship. You shouldn't have done that. He needs to be proud of being an American. I divided between Montana and Texas until I was 15. And Mama moved us out because the marriage of my parents was insupportable. But I made myself up the ranks. Graduated from SMU, went Wildcat and made a fortune. Chased more fortune and fame in Nashville in the early to late 1980s. Campaigned for Bush. Campaigned for Clinton. And I'm just worn out from trying to please the president. It's time for Washington, through the help of private citizens, to dang it please the American people. Hope you enjoy listening to the J.R. Hendrix Texan Gentleman. If you like what you hear, please subscribe to become a part of the adventure. This is the James Hendrix Empowerment saying until next time, get ready for the rest of the story. It's going to get more interesting and a bit bumpy from here. Alright guys, remember what we said. We got the Republic to save. We got a lot of work to do. Many of you want to do this. Go out there and vote Trump. God bless you. And God bless the United States of America.